With the official reveal of the brand new DC Slate by Peter Safran and James Gunn, fans now have a better understanding of exactly what is to come under this new leadership. For the last almost 10 years we got to know many of these superheroes with the help of actors such as Jason Momoa and Henry Cavill. As such, bringing in change and with it a brand new cast will always be hard to accept, especially when many feel that there were still plenty to give from the previous generation. One of the biggest points of contention over the last few months has been the recasting of Henry Cavill as Superman. Many fans were left extremely disappointed by the news as most were excited to have him play the Man of Steel at least one more time. During his time as Superman, fans never really got to see the full potential of Superman, and there is a variety of reasons for this. I have covered this point previously as well, but there were a lot of things happening internally that eventually led to us not getting the Superman content that we wanted. Henry Cavill signed a 3-movie deal with DC, and as a result, most thought that this would mean 3 Man of Steel movies. We do now know that not to be the case. Although we were first introduced to Henry Cavill's Superman in 2013, the much requested follow-up movie simply never happened. Plans changed within the studio in order to rush out a Justice League, and as such the sequel turned into a Batman vs Superman that led into Justice League. While there was still an opportunity to extend Henry's contract, the studio ultimately went in another direction and decided to start the search for a new Superman in 2018. That is until Dwayne Johnson showed up. A large reason why we got to see so little from Cavill specifically was due to the fact that some executives just didn't want him in that role, as this article also points out. Superman hasn't technically been seen on the big screen since the controversial cut of Justice League from 2017, as Zack Snyder's Justice League, the director's true version of the film, released on HBO Max 4 years later. As a result of creative differences between Zack Snyder and the studio and differences between executives internally, Warner Bros. Was sitting on Superman for almost 6 years without any plans to bring him back until Johnson arrived. However, the actor negotiated the Black Adam cameo in a way that didn't sit well with certain top executives. A lot has been said about this whole situation, and honestly, at this point there really isn't too much left to say about everything that were going on behind the scenes. It is unfortunate that we will not have Cavill back, but the decision has been made and we will have to accept that. James Gunn for his part did in fact acknowledge that the studio did mess with Cavill when he spoke recently about the new DC slate that is coming. In this article from Deadline they say, referring to his Superman Legacy movie, Gunn continued, "For me, for this story, it isn't Henry. I like Henry. He's a great guy. I think he's gotten dicked around by a lot of people, including former regimes of this company. But this Superman isn't Henry for a number of reasons." Now, in this whole interview quite a lot was said. The removal of Cavill might have been a big point of contention, but so has the inaction against Ezra Miller. Reports have been popping up that Ezra Miller will be staying in their role as Flash, and although this has not been confirmed yet, the door for their return remains very much open. Miller has been involved in a number of legal battles over the last few years, and it is also very clear that there might be some deeper issues going on. I do understand why the studio would not want to mention anything about Ezra right now, considering that they are in the middle of promoting the movie. It will be a bad look if they just came out and publicly denounce and fire him. They might still recast him, but that won't happen until after the movie has been released. Gunn and Safran also made the point very clear that Miller will do nothing right now except focus on their recovery. This statement is most likely made as they want Miller to stay away from the promotional material of the movie as far as they possibly can. They say here, while Gunn and Safran were very bullish about The Flash and see the movie as a turning point for the next phase of DC, it's still TBD whether Ezra Miller continues to put on the red speedster leotard. Said Safran, "Ezra is completely committed to their recovery. We're fully supportive of that journey that they're on right now. When the time is right, when they feel they are ready to have the discussion, we'll all figure out what the best way forward is," added the DC co-boss. But right now, they are completely focused on their recovery. When it comes to Batman, they did pretty much just once again confirm what we already know. They will be looking to once again recast the role. Robert Pattinson will continue as Batman, but his version will not play into the 10-year slate or form part of the main story. His movies will be treated as a separate standalone story. Ben Affleck will also not be returning as the character, at least not for this brand new movie that they have planned. They are leaving the door open for some of the old cast to return as well. However, it is unclear exactly how they are going to do that. James Gunn recently revealed the new Flash movie will be the reset for the DCU, but once again, it is unclear exactly how they are going to reset everything. With Gunn saying that there will be an opportunity for the old cast to return, it is going to be interesting to see exactly how that will play out. In the interview that Safran and Gunn had, they did confirm the following by saying, "There's no reasons why all the people you mentioned couldn't be part of the DCU, we just haven't decided what the story is that we want to tell that incorporates Shazam or Aquaman," said Safran. Now here what he is referring to is all of the old actors from the Snyderverse. Gunn also made it very clear that he has no intention of taking a current or former actor and recasting them into a new role. For those who do not know, rumors were making the rounds that Jason Momoa was going to play Lobo. Gunn with that statement seems to just throw cold water on the idea of that ever happening. Although we do now have a better understanding of exactly what the plans for DC are going to be going forward, only time will tell exactly how all of this is going to play out.